Hi guys, in this video we are going to see question set 18. So this question set 18 is a sub question of the question which we studied on question set number 16. So this is the third question set related to that question. In this question set they have given data in the table, so we need to insert these data in the particular table which we created. These are the tables which we created on question set 16, and in question set 17 they said us to create relationship between these tables. So this is the ER diagram for this question. In this question set 18 they have told us to insert these data they have given in the tables. First of all, we need to convert this ER diagram into a database. So the first step is, you can see here there is an option called database. So if you click here, so there are several options, but you need to choose forward engineer. If you click on forward engineer, there will be an interface like this. So you need to check your hostname, username and the password. After that, if everything is okay, you can click next and again next, and finally it will say forward engineer finished successfully. That means your ER diagram converted to a database successfully. So if we see the database which we converted, so you can see here, this is the database which we created right now. So if you see the tables in this database, there are 5 tables. Also when you look at this, there are also 5 tables. Let's do the first question. So in the first question they have told us to enter the data in the table below to the class table. We need to enter these data into the class table. So this is the class table, and in this question set we are going to enter the data graphically. First of all, you can see here a green color plus icon. If you click on that, you can add a new row. So I'll add the data. So you can see we have successfully created our table. So let's move on to the second question. So in the second question they've told us to enter the data in the table below to the student table. So we need to enter these data into the student table. So let's do this question too. So let's move on to the student table. First of all, we need to add a row, and then we can add the data respectively. I'll add all these data one by one. So we've added first set of data. So let's add these data one by one. So you can see here we've added all the data into the student table. So let's move on to the third question. So in this third question they've told us to enter the subject names into the subject table. This is the subject table. So you can see here we added those data into the subject table. When we go to the fourth question, we need to enter these data into the exam table. So the data are first term and second term with the exam date. So let's add the data. So we added those particular data into the exam term table. So let's move on to the final question. In this question they've told us to enter the data in the table below into the table named student exam mark record. So we need to enter these data into the table called student exam mark record. When you look at our student exam marks table, there is only 4 columns here, but in this question they've given several columns. So when we look at this, so they've given index number, first name, last name of the student, and the subjects they've given mathematics, science and Sinhala language and literature. So each subject has a first term and second term. Also each subject has a first term marks and a second term marks. So each student gets 6 records in the table. For example, I will enter the first data into this table. When we look at this is the student index number. So first of all, they've told us to add STU001 Sandun Vijayaratna as the first student. So let's add Sandun Vijayaratna. So I selected Sandun Vijayaratna, and then when we move on to the subject ID table, we can choose here which subject we are going to mark. So first of all, they've given mathematics, so I'm going to mark mathematics. I selected mathematics, and then let's move on to the third column. So in this column is related to the term ID. So this is the first term mathematics marks of Sandun Vijayaratna. I'm going to select first term in this column, and then we can mark the marks here as 50. So this is the first data row related to the student called Sandun Vijayaratna. There will be 5 more rows to enter these data. So each of these marks will get a particular row here. So let's add another row. Now we need to add these marks into the table. The same procedure as we did earlier. We need to select Sandun in the column student index number. It's the second term mathematics marks of Sandun Vijayaratna. The subject is mathematics, and then the term is second term. So the marks is 44.12. So this is how we need to add data this table. So each and every student gets a 6 record in this particular table. Let's add the first term science marks of Sandun Vijayaratna. So this is also the way we added the data previously. In this column we need to choose science because we are entering the science data. The term is first term and the marks is 85. So again we are going to add the second term science marks of Sandun Vijayaratna here. We need to select second term here, and then we can add the second term marks. The last subject is Sinhala language and literature. For this we are going to add the first term marks as 78.6, and finally we are going to add the second term Sinhala language and literature marks of Sandun Vijayaratna. So now you can see here we've added all the marks of Sandun Vijayaratna in this particular table. To add all these marks, we need to insert 6 records for a particular student. So let's add other students' data as well. Can see here we added all the data which we were given to add this particular table. So according to this question set, all the questions are related to inserting data into the table. So first of all we inserted class data into the class tables and student details into the student table. Also then subject names into the subject table, and then we inserted the term names into the exam term table, and finally we added the data of student marks in the student exam mark record table. So let's meet in the next video with question set 19.